Hello and thank you for joining me for your daily tarot. So today is Friday the 13th and we are doing a reading all about who or what from your past is calling. Yeah, bit of a spooky theme for Friday the 13th. Right, so let's get into this energy for you. As always, please never try and fit a reading. Like, don't try and force fit it for your situation, okay? You've still got to use your own discernment and only take the messages that are meant for you and leave what isn't yours for someone else, okay? Right, so who or what from your past is calling? You have judgment and opportunity. Okay. Why are you being called to look at this? The Knight of Cups, empathy. What you have to do in order to heal your past, the Knight of Wands, desire. What will releasing what is in your past do for your spirit moving forward? The Seven of Swords, treachery, okay. And how you can connect to your present moment, the Nine of Wands, stamina, okay. Overall energy is the decadence, abruption, okay. That's the Tower. Number 16 is the Tower. That's your current overall energy. Yeah, abruption. Now, I'm going to hold this card up so that you can see as well, because I do read intuitively, okay? So, in that little vial, there's an eye. There's an eye. So your overall energy, it's like you can see something's coming. You can see that this is dead ahead of you. You're not under any kind of illusions here. You might have even predicted that this situation or this person from the past was going to return, okay? And you were absolutely spot on. You were correct. Like, you've seen this coming a mile away. The Tower, obviously, that can be a really disruptive force. Sometimes it's unexpected, but I'm not feeling that it's unexpected for you guys. Not at all. In fact, you're saying I wouldn't have expected anything less. And underneath there, you have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Coins, greed. Greed. Yeah, someone's greed here is going to be their own downfall. And you predicted it. You seen it coming. You saw it coming a mile off. Now, how this ties in for you personally, again, it's going to be different for all of you. The judgment. So it's not just judgment, it's the judgment, which is what from your past is calling you back. Could be past judgments that you made on yourself, past unfavourable judgments you made on yourself. See, she looks quite miserable. So any past unfavourable judgments that you made on yourself, that's calling for you to take another look at it and to start looking at yourself a lot more favourably, okay? This could also, for some of you, be the negative judgments that other people made of you. You know, others basically jump into conclusions about who you are as a person, about things that you've done or things that you supposedly had done but didn't actually do, you know. People passing judgments that are false, that are negative, that are unhelpful, okay? If anyone's done that to you, it might be them that is coming back to you to try and resolve this, okay? Now you've got the Knight of Cups for why you're being called to look at this. Empathy. To show yourself, demonstrate to yourself a lot more care, a lot more compassion, and a lot more understanding. And if this is about another individual passing false judgments about you, then you're being called to look at it so that you can be a little bit more compassionate towards why they might have done that, why they might have fallen into that particular trap. Was it naivety? Were they trying to win favour with another individual? I feel that it's more to do with showing yourself more compassion. Because when you show yourself more compassion and understanding, naturally you start showing compassion and understanding towards others. Okay. Okay, so that energy feels pretty straightforward here. What is it that you need to do in order to heal your past? It's the Knight of Wands, desire. Very action orientated with this one, and with the symbology of the oak tree there in the background, that's also about strength. Standing tall, standing proud. Yes, you do have Jupiter there in the background because this is a Sagittarius card. It's luck. Jupiter is the planet of luck. It's the planet of expansion and abundance as well. It's the desire to understand the bigger picture. Okay. So with your desire to understand the bigger picture, the desire to understand yourself on a much deeper level, and to understand others on a much deeper level, but more importantly, why we do, and when I say we, I mean the collective we, why we do certain things that we do, why we make certain choices that we make. I feel as well that you have shown strength with that oak tree and wisdom in times of uncertainty. Okay. So with the message of Jupiter there as well, I feel that this is all being paid forward now. Okay. It's all being paid forward. And Jupiter is a planet of good luck and good fortune. So your fortune and your luck is changing. It is changing for the better. Okay. In order for you to heal from your past, they're literally saying with this one, for you to shoot your shot. To follow your desires, to take action on your desires. That's more to do with like your ambitions, your goals in life. Okay. Not allowing the short-sighted opinions of others to stop you from being an achiever. But it's also for you to analyze your own version of what being an achiever means specifically for you. Okay. Now the Knight of Wands, that's a very adventurous energy. It's someone who is willing to take the risks because they're okay with the potential consequences of whatever decisions they have risen to. Okay. So be confident and be strong in your own beliefs here and shoot your shot, whatever that might be. What will releasing your past do for your spirit moving forward? The Seven of Swords, treachery. It's a bit of an interesting one. I feel that this is more to do with your ability to see past the bullshit, to see past the lies, to see past the treachery. I'm being reminded of a quote. It's quite a funny one. I only clocked it last week. It was so funny. It was, as we get older, our eyesight degrades, but our ability to see through bullshit improves. And they're reminding me of that quote with this message here. So, yeah, it is very applicable. It is having that wisdom to be able to see past any sort of lies and gaslighting and... You know what I'm saying with that one. Right, let's clarify this treachery, please, for our collective. That's also... it indicates that there's a better way of doing things as well. Or a better way of thinking of things. Can you tell us more about this treachery for our collective, please? Thank you. The Two of Swords. Yeah, you can either be stuck and hung up on past betrayals, past treachery, or you can choose to move beyond that. Okay. The choice to remain stuck. It is a choice. That's what Spirit's telling you here. Like, you can allow the past crap to bog you down, or you can choose to come out of that energy. There's a message here with they flowers. That's what I keep getting stuck on that card. It's because of they flowers. They kind of look like a type of orchid flower to me. So I'm going to really quickly Google the symbolic meaning of the orchid. But in fact, before I do that, I'm just going to check the book for that one and make sure that that is an orchid that I'm seeing, because obviously I don't want to research something for you guys and be researching the wrong thing. So I'll see quickly if the book describes what kind of flowers they are. A petrified garden princess and several manipulative and... Yes, it is an orchid. A petrified garden princess and several manipulative and conning orchid flowers and baby dragons, who were once kind and gentle, stand together in the middle of the dark and isolated greenhouse, ready to deceive her. The princess appears to be lost and unable to walk back to her castle. The orchids and dragons, who are now intruders in her presence, are nothing more than really bad company. They do nothing but inflict doubt and fear into the princess's head, leaving her vulnerable and unable to move forward. Now that the orchids and dragons have the princess both intimidated and in their trap, they will unleash their secret agenda and ill intentions towards making her feel helpless. Okay, yeah, so they are definitely orchids, so we're going to combine that message there with the spiritual symbol of the orchids. Okay, so orchids have spiritual meanings that include... I'll tell you what I'll do while I'm reading this out. Switch out to the overhead camera so that you've got beautiful cards to look at while I'm reading this. Okay, orchids have spiritual meanings that include spiritual growth, beauty, and purity. Okay, so the first message there is... with these betrayals from the past, because remember we are looking at the past is calling what or who from the past. So betrayals from the past, what was your intent while that was going on, while you were being betrayed? What was your intent in that moment? Was your intent pure and honest, and you were still screwed over? Okay, so consider your intent. It also indicates the symbol of spiritual perfection and inner peace, right? So you're being told, do not allow this betrayal, this treachery, to disrupt your inner peace, because that is a trap. Do you remember the message of the trap? Yeah. I do feel that potentially, because that's sword's energy as well, it's communication. It might well be that certain individuals of your past are currently gossiping about you this week, and you're not to get involved with that, because that's going to pull you back into that trap with these intruders. They're going to pull you back into that trap of basically you feeling like you're the bad one, that you're a bad person, that you're an evil person, yada, yada, yada. Okay, don't fall back into that trap, definitely. They're also associated with adaptability, transformation, and embracing change. So embrace the change that these people are no longer going to be a part of your life. If they currently are a part of your life, then they're no longer going to be a part of your life, and that's actually going to be very good and beneficial for your soul and for your growth as an individual moving forward. Okay, surrendering people of the past, surrendering incidents of the past, surrendering gossip of the past. Okay, nobody knows you better than you know yourself. I keep telling everybody this. Okay, remembering to actually not just hear those words and repeat those words, nobody knows me better than I do, but believe it, genuinely believe it as well. Okay, They also represent love, strength, and self-development. So with this coming out in that particular kind of card, it basically indicates that certain people that did these things to you, they actually have what's called arrested development, and they massively dislike when other people outgrow them. Okay, that they will look down on people who outgrow them because they've got it in their heads, oh, they just think that they're better than everyone else. How dare they? Do you know what I mean? It's like they're reading it all wrong, you know? The love and the compassion that you once had for these people, you can retain that, right? Try not to become bitter and twisted like them. Retain, because remember what Spirit was telling you here, okay? I don't like to quote scripture. I'm not a Christian, right? But that whole message of forgive them for they know not what they do, that's coming through, okay? So I do apologize for quoting scripture. I've no place to be quoting stuff like that. It's not my thing, okay? I openly admit that. That is the message that's coming through, though. And I honor my work. I give the message that comes through, right? Simple as. They're saying, forgive them for they know not what they do. They are completely oblivious because of that arrested development. They are completely oblivious of the impact that they have or have had upon other people. Right? We're getting all of this just from the orchid symbology, by the way, which is why it's important for me to sit through and go through everything so we can pull out as much detail as we possibly can. And it doesn't matter how that information comes through, as long as it comes through. Okay? They also say, depending on the colour of the orchids, they can symbolise passion, desire, grace, joy, innocence and purity. So what colours are coming through mostly with these ones? Well, you've got the purples, which are the obvious ones. Okay, and that kind of purple, that would be, I would say, about your intuition. Okay, and again, that would tie in with the Seven of Swords energy, because Seven of Swords is all about, lies, trickery, deceit, deception. That can shut down your third eye chakra, your place of intuition. If you've been lied to so often, you're eventually going to get to the point where you no longer trust your own intuition because you've been lied to that much. It ties in. Okay. You've also got the yellows. And the yellows could well be about your solar plexus chakra, which is about your willpower. Or it's also the colour of positivity and strength. Optimism. Okay. Basically, smile through the bullshit here is what I feel you're being told. Okay, smile through the bullshit. Don't get dragged down into this nasty, nasty gossip. Right? And then you're going to feel more free within yourself. And definitely a lot less victimized, or a lot less like a victim. You're going to feel a lot more in control of your own life moving forward. Okay. How can you connect with the present moment? That's the Nine of Wands. Stamina, boundaries. Connect with the present moment by having strong, firm, solid boundaries. And make your boundaries non-negotiable as well. Now, again, I'm going to hold this card up closer so that you can see. I want to find out what this is here. Like, obviously, I can see what it is, but I want to find out, like, why it's there and what does that actually mean for you? What does it mean for the reading? Okay, because it's a bit of a bizarre thing, basically. It's a bizarre thing to be put in on that card. Right, so let's have a look. 9 of Wands. I think I've gone too far there. Okay, so the reason why they've put that on that particular card, and again I'll switch out so you got the beautiful cards to look at. So we're looking at this one here. So they're saying a beautiful young saint by the name of Veronica lives in a remote village in Jerusalem. She has had a miraculous and holy vision that no one in her village has witnessed before. She has seen the face of Christ. Knowing that the people in her village are skeptics, she shares with them what it is she's seen, but they all laugh at her. Her feelings are deeply hurt, and so is her mentality. Despite all of this, she forgives her people and learns from her past pains and musters the courage to overcome this hurt and move on with her life. Okay, so the reason why that symbol is there, because it means that you have received some information. It could be spiritual information, could be spiritual insights, or it's simply just the fact of life experience. You lived through these people doing this to you, probably tried to warn others here that they were going to be next in line for the exact kind of treatment that you received, and you weren't believed. So again, it's really important to research symbols and signs as and when they pop up. You were laughed at. You were not believed. You were mocked. You were made out to be a fool or foolish. Or you were made out to be perhaps melodramatic here. So instead of you overexhausting yourself, instead of you repeating that pain that comes through not being believed, you've moved on. You've strengthened your boundaries. So why is this coming out in your energy now? Because we're doing the past is calling spread. It's possible that one of these people who laughed at you, who mocked you, who didn't believe you, that these other people did this to you, it's possible that one of them has experienced firsthand the exact same kind of treatment. Very, very possible. Like, all of the signs are pointing towards that. They're all pointing towards that. So if I will say the zodiacs, okay, you've got a lot of zodiacs out here. I will say them. You could be this zodiac, or one of these people could be these signs. Okay, you've got heavy Scorpio energy with Judgment and the Tower. You've also got Aries energy, the Tower. Sagittarius here. Heavy Sagittarius, actually. Pisces, Libra, Aquarius there, and Capricorn. Okay. So again, take it with a grain of salt, okay, because the zodiac information is not necessarily going to be helpful for everyone, right? Okay, let's take a healing message for you guys. Do you have a healing message for our collective that's dealing with this situation, please? Beauty, the Mermaid, number 14. The hidden, the unseen, the deeper realms, the deeper meanings of something. Let's take a look. And obviously mermaids, well, the original tales of the mermaids, they were actually quite dangerous. They were sirens. Right, so this one says, beauty is a high value when it illuminates and inspires, but it's also in the eye of the beholder. Relying just on outward appearances is shallow and temporary. If beauty is the only virtue, then others need to be developed. Love your own unique beauty. If you're using your beauty to manipulate someone, be wary. This particular kind of magic wears thin after a time. So there's a few things there. Number one, was somebody tempted to believe the lies, the deceit, because the other person was very good at putting on this beautiful act, this beautiful show? Was it a case of, well, I find this person far more attractive than that person, therefore this attractive person must be telling the truth? There's also the message of how if you could see someone's soul on the outside, like if you could wear your soul on your face, would it be beautiful? And apply the same to others. Okay? Look beyond appearances. Now, it's likely that somebody was actually manipulated here, and it's likely that they were manipulated to work against you. And they got away with it because they were very alluring, they were very beautiful, very handsome, you know. Somebody probably just fell for the rhetoric of another individual because of surface level stuff. And now they're being forced to take a deeper look and possibly realizing, actually, I'm out of my depth here. If there was a lot of emphasis put on how you were somehow not good enough because physically they saw you as not very handsome or not very beautiful, therefore you had no worth, you know, according to them. And is that why they made you feel like a piece of shit? You know, not conventionally beautiful or something, and so have received unfair treatment due to that? Possibly. Yes, possibly. Someone seeing their mistake in that now. Okay. Because there is also the message here about how someone's gotten themselves into a lot of trouble because they've only been looking at shallow, surface level stuff. And that includes the way that somebody looks. Right? And that would tell me that you have been on the receiving end of a very deep unfair prejudice here. Okay? Now, if you were betrayed and lied to by an individual who just ran off with the next beautiful thing that they saw, they're realizing how quickly looks fade. And so the shine has now rubbed off. It's now dull. Okay. So there's quite a lot of messages that you can get with that mermaid energy. Okay. But ultimately, they are still sirens. They are still sirens, and their whole thing was to lure the fishermen to their deaths. Okay. It is very, very likely here that you saw the danger okay? The Tower, greed. You saw the danger. You saw how something was going to play out, and you were basically made out to be crazy. You were made out to be psycho. Quite possibly even made out to be jealous here with that greed energy. Okay, it was all bullshit. So what they're saying is this situation is coming back round for a review. For a review. And are you going to be able to retain your more softer side here? But strong, okay? You can be strong yet gentle, right? That's the thing. You've got to keep your boundaries in place. That's not up for debate. This is about your empathy and your ability to recognize that others are perhaps not as tuned in as what you are to the dangers, and to empathize with their naivety, perhaps. Okay, are you going to be able to do that? It might be very, very difficult, because that Seven of Swords is a very heavy energy, and you've had to basically pick yourself back up from that. So it's going to be really, really hard, but it's important that you do retain your understanding, not give them permission, but it's understanding how they could have been so naive to have fallen for that bullshit in the first place. And that's going to ensure that your own heart doesn't start to shut down. Does that make sense? Yeah, heavy stuff. So I'm going to do the usual, and we're going to pull one of the more light-hearted decks at the end of the read, just to sort of uplift everything. Okay. Right. What else can you tell us for our collective here, please? What else can you tell our collective? Okay. Right, so you've got recharge your batteries, you piece of shit. The somewhat intense squiddle of self-care. Self-care is a super important... Oh, I added the word a. Self-care is super important, in case you didn't know. Life will feel as intense as this squiddle if you don't do it. No half-assed attempts either. Give it your all. Yeah. It's time for you to recharge your batteries. And your power is in your vulnerability. The vol of vulnerability. In a world that seems cold, it's hard to be vulnerable. Soften your view of the world. Yeah, that's exactly what we were speaking of there. Okay. Make sure your own heart doesn't start to shut down from the rest of the world because of this experience. Soften your view of the world and open yourself up to new love and new possibilities, new experiences. Vulnerability is a truly magical space to be in. Build trust in yourself, and before you know it, you will have the wisdom to know when it's the right time to unlock your energy. Yeah. Build up that trust within yourself. Having the wisdom to know when it's the right time to unlock your energy, that's a long-winded way of saying, look, trust in your own survival instincts, trust in your own gut instincts, trust in your own intuition. Okay? You can only trust your own intuition when you have rebuilt that trust within yourself, for yourself. Okay? Right, but that is what I have for you guys. I genuinely hope that that reading has been helpful to someone. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you did like it and you're wanting to see more. All interaction on my channel really does help to push out the messages to others who are needing to hear the messages as well. Okay, but yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.